quite worldwide that the president received them today, and maybe on Wednesday he's going to host an elaborate ceremony. So whatever they are getting now, the girls deserved every bit of it, and I think more should come. It should not be only the Super Eagles. These women have won the title this is the 7th time out of 9 times, and by now we're certain that some of these corporate telling over themselves, to host them. It should not be the Super Eagles alone. How many times have we won the Nations Cup? Three times. And we started playing in the late 50s, late 60s. The African Women Championship started in 1998, and they have won it 7 times. So I think the minister said something very, very significant before the game. His speech was quite inspirational. Before the final game. I was there.
Okay, I'll come to you for behind the scenes stories. I were almost not going to play the final match. I will eventually play the final game, and the story from game to game, from the group stage and all of that. I'm going to come back to you for that. But let's stay in Aso Rock and listen to what President Goodluck Jonathan told the girls when he met them in Abuja today. We'll listen to President Jonathan, and then we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
And you've made the country proud. We're indeed happy. Nigeria is known to be a football or soccer country. The male teams have been doing very well, but sometimes because of certain internal crisis, we tend to slide behind. But the female teams have been doing wonderfully well, as presented by the. We didn't expect that we won, but still, that you won for this country is remarkable. On behalf of the good people of this great country, Nigeria, I thank you for this your commitment, because it requires discipline to achieve these heights. No matter how good you are, even in academics, I was just telling my age, even in academics, I was a student, I was a teacher too. We've seen brilliant boys and girls so ordinarily would have made first class, but lack of discipline prevents them from getting that first class. So if there's no discipline, you cannot excel in everything. So you have the skills, but you have also shown consummate discipline that have made you to defend your country. We're very grateful to you, we continue to adore you, and continue to honor you.
Well, just a bit of what President Goodluck Jonathan told the girls in Abuja earlier today. Now, let's take a look at what President Jonathan talked about: discipline, commitment, patriotism, and all of that. Let's look at the team. Let's start from Coach Edwin Okon. Reports everywhere. Sisi caught up with him in Lagos when they arrived. Since he started work, caretaker basis is not been confirmed yet as a substantive coach. And some people are saying for 25 months, has it been paid? 25 months?
Yeah, 24 months.
24 months?
24 months, really.
Although they said they got paid today, but yes. They said they got paid today at the end of, they were yesterday at the end of the meeting with the sports minister.
That was
that
was their bonuses.
Oh, they got paid their bonuses, not the salaries.
For the African Women Championship. I think the salary issue is still hanging in the balance. And we must commend Coach Edwin Okon for taking these girls this far without complaining. We must commend him, because they had a very short period of time to prepare this team, 3 weeks, and they got the trophy. And I saw the kind of hard work, the commitment that these coaches, Edwin Okon and his assistants, put into preparing these girls. Every game, every training session. Most of those goals you saw were active in the training session, especially the second goal against the Lionesses of Cameroon. I saw what they did in training, and they replicated that in that game. So I think we need to settle this issue of owing coaches. It's not fair. Even the Bible said that a laborer deserves his wages.
Sisi, Amy highlighted the fact that these girls were not paid. They only got paid for 2 games at the African Women Championship. Edwin Okon went to the tournament with a lot of the girls from Rivers Angels. What is the situation with Rivers Angels as well? They are also on strike because they've not been paid for a long time. So it's a case of these girls just forgetting about whatever problems they were going through to go out there and win for themselves, knowing that, look, let's do this for the country will reward us.
Yeah, I think that's even the reason some of the girls were actually saying that, people were talking about the President Goodluck Jonathan giving them scholarship and some other things. Some of them actually said...
They want money.
Houses.
They want houses, they want cars.
Flats or something in Abuja.
Material blessings.
Exactly, that's exactly what they wanted. And I felt, when I remember the story of what actually happened to them in Namibia, and of course the girls in Rivers and just and all that, I understood why they actually wanted that. They want something they can hold tangible, especially those of them who said their parents never wanted them to play football, like Asisa, two the parents who actually wanted to be a lawyer and go to school and everything. So when they now see that, I think they can be proud of the girls and say, okay, you play football and you're getting something out of it. I think the reason why most parents doesn't even want their girls to go into football is simply because of what we see in Nigeria. A situation whereby you see girls playing football, just playing it for the passion. Nothing is coming out of it. But when you have a boy, a young guy who is playing football and all that, he's rich, he's got money, he's got everything. But the girls, they cannot account for that. But I feel with this...
And the last one of the ladies is quite short.
It's quite short. But I think I might disagree with you in that, because you see the picture of Kocha, she's 38, she's still playing football. Except someone yes, she is. She's also
exception for you.
Yeah, you're right.
So they have to get whatever they need to get
it now, precisely, not when after. So Perpetual Coach, of course, it's 7th time now. She's part of this squad who won this one. And she can't really say, this is what I got from the government, or this is why I have been playing football. But I think they can just set that situation whereby whenever they win anything, just give them something they can hold on to. That is it, something they can hold on to. When the money is not now coming, they know that they have something they can fall back on.
All right, President Jonathan will hold them on the 5th of November, as he said. I'm sure something good, something tangible will come for the girls at that reception. But anyway, let's look back at what happened in Namibia. You saw the thing very closely. Let's look at it generally. The quality of the competition, the Nigerian team, and the stories behind the scene, how they kept moving on from game to game, not being distracted until they landed the final on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it was a wonderful competition. The Namibians are hosting for the first time. They have not hosted a tournament of this magnitude in the history of the country. So for me, they gave a good account of themselves. And what really helped them again was the fact that the two venues were in Windhoek, the Independence Stadium that had a grass pitch, and where they played the final, the Sam Nujoma Stadium with artificial pitch. And for the Super Falcons, I think everything went very well for them. All their games were played in one venue. Because they topped that group, they remained there, and they got used to the artificial pitch. They were also training on that kind of pitch in Abuja. So if the first game against Cote d'Ivoire, there were some issues, particularly in defense, and that's where Osinachi Ohale, came in. And I think that was why Coach Okun had to, bring in Josephine to replace him. I think against South Africa. We were complaining, but when I also saw the training and the performance of Josephine, I think I had to agree with Coach Okun. The first game, he kept Perpetual Nkocha on the bench. I also asked him the question, why did he, and he told me that he took 21 players to the tournament. And I think after watching the training sessions, I agree with him that perhaps Perpetual is still very brilliant, but the pace and the strength, because of his age, he can no longer cope with the intensity. The experience is quite there. He was inspirational to other players. The 6th goal against Zambia was indeed world class. But when it comes to the pace and intensity, she may, because of the age, may not be able to cope.
Talk to us about the final game, the drama before the final game. You guys were expecting Nigeria, Cameroon, just on the pitch, but there was a lot that went behind the scene.
Yeah, I tell you,
because some people were denying in Nigeria that nothing happened. Nobody threatened us, nothing happened. We were just going to play and all of that. But we were there, and yes, we observed all that happened.
The moment of the final, I was on Twitter and Facebook, and I noticed that the president of the Nigeria Football Federation was not going to come to Windhoek, and a lot of things happened at the airport. But when we got to the stadium, I saw Obasi, a respected, CAF official, and he said that
we've been lucky.
Yeah, we were very lucky that Hayatu was contacted by FIFA to stop the final. And and they had to explain that the person who went to court is not a representative of government, that government had no hand in, if they are saying is government interference, government had no hand in what happened in the Nigerian government, that it was an individual You know, and I have to stand his ground that apart from the explanation that the Nigerian officials gave, the minister was there to also, you know, explain certain things.